Unions did help win some of the most significant year-over-year teacher pay increases in more than a decade, but Trump's drastic cuts in federal education funds could reverse this progress.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Teacher Appreciation Day is coming up, National Teachers Day. May 6th is National Teachers Day. It's also National Nurses Day. We love our nurses. Shout out to National Nurses United, who's doing a lot of great work in the South, including in New Orleans. But, you know, teaching's very near and dear to my heart. I've never been a nurse, but I have been an educator. I taught high school history for a few years, and I spent several more years representing educators here in Huntsville. And so, you know, this year is a very interesting year for Teacher Appreciation Week because on the one hand, there have been some gains in recent years. There have been gains here in Alabama this legislative session. But this comes amid a context of decades of corporate education reform and privatization. And now we have an administration in D.C. that is very much cheerleading for that. And so it's an interesting time to be reflecting on education and, you know, what our teachers are going through. A couple, you know, good things that I want to mention here in Alabama. We did have two important pieces of legislation that were signed this week. One would grant workers' comp to education employees. A lot of people don't realize this, but at least in Alabama, teachers did not get workers' comp, right? So if they were injured on the job, they had to pay out of pocket for all the costs and then go through a very cumbersome process with something called the Board of Adjustments, fill out a bunch of paperwork, send in all the receipts, and hope that they get reimbursed in a timely fashion. This is an injustice, and it's a good thing that it's being corrected. I would say we have to keep on pushing because we also have mentioned this last week, and I believe in the op-ed that Whitney referenced earlier, public sector workers in Alabama are not covered by OSHA standards, right? So there's a whole like can of worms you can get into when it comes to workplace safety for public sector employees in the state, you know, state and local government employees, teachers, etc. So this is good. This is good momentum, and I appreciate the folks who worked on that. State Senator Sam Gavan, who's local to this area, who's a Republican here in Huntsville, he kind of spearheaded that legislation. And so I'll say here what I said to him. Don't often agree with everything you believe in or support or vote or how you vote, but this is a good piece of legislation. It's going to help people, and that's what we need to see, right? So
yeah, we don't care who it comes from as long as like it helps people,
right? Like if you're helping people, you know, that's more important than the party you come from. And you know, sometimes that's issue by issue, right? I recognize that, you know, maybe we're not going to agree on some other issues, but if we can move the needle forward to help working people, that's a big deal. And on that note, we also got paid parental leave for education and state employees passed. And that's a big deal. Also, a lot of folks assumed that teachers have maternity leave, but they did not, right? And so this is going to be a big relief to educators, and love to see that. The bad news is that public school educators are still underpaid, and they will not be getting a pay raise this year in Alabama. And there's 4 new NEA reports that show public school employees are still underpaid. Unions did help win some of the most significant year-over-year teacher pay increases in more than a decade, but Trump's drastic cuts in federal education funds could reverse this progress. U.S. educators still suffer from too low wages and a lack of professional respect, according to 4 new reports examining educator pay and school funding from pre-K through college. The National Education Association's annual reports show that today's salaries continue to lag behind inflation. These poor wages are not without consequence. Too low pay exacerbates the national teacher shortage, making it difficult for school districts to attract and retain quality educators while also worsening educator morale. So I would just point folks to NEA's website, NEA.org. You can find out more about that. It's one of those things like I probably didn't need 4 reports to tell me that they were underpaid, but I'm glad it happened. I'm glad someone put the research into it to prove it. We've long known that educators are underpaid compared to similarly educated professionals, and often treated with a lack of respect. And that's an issue that we're going to have to deal with. But next week, I want to really lift up our teachers and let you know we appreciate you on the Valley Labor Report. Shout out to the hard work that you do. And I would encourage you to organize, because organizing is how we're going to make it better.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.